Namaskaram. Welcome to our series Mother Earth Speaks to Corporates. Today we are going to discuss the 18th verse of Tirupavai, consisting of 30 verses. Sri Andal is in pursuit of a mission, and in the process she is doing a lot of activities which we have seen in the last 16 verses. The last verse onwards, she has been trying to have an access to Lord Krishna, and she continues in this verse as well. Mundumada Kalitran, Vodada Tolvalian. It starts like that. We'll listen to the song in a beautiful raga by Madam Vimala Srinivasan. Then we'll get into discussing what it can offer to us.
உந்து மத களிற்ற ஓடாத தோல்வலிய உந்து மத களிற்ற ஓடாத தோல்வலிய நந்த கோபம் மருமகளே கதோ கமழு குழலி கடை திறவாய் கதோ கமழு குழலி கடை திறவாய் வந்தெல்கோ கோழி அழைத்தனகாய மாதவி பந்தல் மேல் பல்கால் குயிலினங்கள் கூவினகாய் பந்தல் மேல் பல்கால் குயிலினங்கள் கூவினகாய் பந்தார் விரலி உண்மை தூணன் பேர்பாட சந்தாமரை கையால் சீரார் வளை ஒலிப்ப சங்காமரை கையால் சீரார் வளை ஒலிப்ப வந்து திரவாய் மகிழ்ந்தேலோரம் பவாய சங்காமரை கையா சீரார் வளை ஒலிப்ப வந்து திரவாய் மகிழ்ந்தேலோரம் பவாய
Thanks, Madam. That was a very wonderful Saveri. This song is in the raga Saveri, which is the derivative of the 15th Melagartha table raga Maya Malava Gaula. This is the third in the third chakra, which is Agni, and the beauty of or the speciality of this raga is that it brings out the compassion. And we are going to talk about Nepinnai, who is full of compassion. To the extent there is some connection to that. And also the predominant swaras, which give this kind of a attribute to this raga is Rishabha and Daivata. Rishabha is another one which comes in this in an indirect way in this Pasuram. To that extent it is connected. A little background for this verse before we get into the detailed analysis. Nappinai is the main character that is being discussed in this Pasuram for the first time. Nappinai is considered to be very, very close to Lord Krishna. The previous verse, Andal and team were trying to have an access to Lord Krishna. They woke up Nandagopala, Yasoda, Balram, and also Lord Krishna, but he did not give so much of attention. So they were wondering, so we'll have to find someone else who is further closer to Lord Krishna. Then they found that Nappinai is the person who is very, very closely associated with Lord Krishna. Nappinai, who is Nappinai is one of the question, and there is a lot of debates around that, a lot of versions. And Nappinai's relationship to Lord Krishna. Right from the very old Tamil literature called Silappatikaram to the story of Subhadra, who you will find in Puri Jagannath temple as a sister of Lord Krishna and Balram. So they describe a lot of relationship from being a sister, being a friend, being a fiancée, being a wife finally. But what is the final analysis? It is established that she is no one but the wife of Lord Krishna. This has been very clearly established in the Vaishnavite Prabandhas, the 4000 verses that I had been mentioning. More than 100 verses emphasize that this relationship with Lord Krishna. And the most important verse in that is by an Alvar called Nammalvar. In his Trivirutam, he has a specific song which says this Lord Krishna Avatara was mainly taken by Lord Narayana only for the purpose of, actually two purposes. One purpose is to steal and enjoy the butter in the Vrindavan. Number two, marry Nappinai, who is one of the three consorts of Lord Narayana. Lord Narayana has three consorts, Bhuma Devi, Lakshmi, Bhuma Devi and Neela Devi. Bhuma Devi is in the form of Andal, Neela Devi is in the form of Nappinai. So I had mentioned in one of the earlier discussion that the Lord was such a magician that he could complete one avatar in a jiffy. This is the avatar, this is the actual reference in the verse of Namava. So in Paramapada, his original abode, when Narayana is reclining in his snake bed, they do a lot of artis and dhoop. When they are showing the dhoop, it's a dense dhoop. For a few seconds, the sight of Narayan is not available to all the people. Within that small time, he came down to earth and completed complete avatar of Lord Krishna and went back. Is the meaning of this particular verse. Of course, the time difference between us and the Parampata is very different, which is established. So a few seconds of that is a kind complete yuga kind of a thing in the earth. So and Alvar says the main purpose of his avatar was to marry Nappinai and enjoy the butter after stealing them from the cowherd clan. The rest of it were incidental in his avatar, like he did a lot of things, playful things, and he was supporting Pandavas and delivered the Gita and so many things. He says it is all incidental, but the main is, so it establishes that Nappinai is only the wife of Lord Krishna and nothing else. This is the background. There is one other instance I would like to mention here is, this is a very, very important song, a most loved song or verse by Bhagavat Ramanuja. So he was deeply involved in this in this particular verse, and whenever this verse was being recited, something happens within him. So that's a background, and to establish this, there is a event that is being described in the literature. Lord Ramanuja, when he is going to collect his alms, which is the daily routine for all those sannyasis, and when he goes to one particular palace, which is his Acharya, Tirukoshtiyur Nambi. Of course, there are other versions that it was a different Nambi, Peri Nambi, but there are proofs to say that it was only Tirukoshtiyur Nambi, not the Peri Nambi, which many people talk about. So, I am not getting into the controversy of that, but the event that I am aware of, I am sharing. So, as he was going and he stood in front of Tirukoshtiyur Nambi's palace and was waiting for the alms to be received. At that time, he was reciting, his usual practice is to recite Tirupavai and then go for his collection of alms. So, at that time, this Pasuram was being recited within his mind. When the particular line, which you would have said, Koili Kadai Theravai, when the line came, the door opened and the small girl, the daughter of Tirukoshtiyur Nambi, Devaki, came out to offer the alms. The moment he saw the girl, suddenly he prostrated in front of her, thinking that she is Mahalakshmi. That's a kind of a deep involvement. People say, no, whatever you are deeply involved, whatever you see that particular involved thing around you. That is another important event that I would like to narrate here. This will connect with our discussion that we are going to have subsequently in this episode. So, we will now get into the details. The first line is Undumada Kalitran Vodada Tolvaliyan Nandagopan. This means he is so powerful that he will fight a herd of elephants, big elephants, without backing off. That is that kind of a valor that he has. So, what is that we can learn out of this particular line is, in our path of going for a mission, there could be a lot of hurdles. Some of them could be very, very tough, but we should never give up. That means there should be a never say die attitude. With a lot of courage and valor, we should fight it out and clear it off. This is one learning that we can pick up out of the first line. It continues. So, Andal is calling this Neppinai with this verse. Undumadagalitten Vodada Tolvile Nandagopan Marumagale Neppinai. So, Nandagopan's attribute is mentioned here in the first line. Undumadagalitten Vodada Tolvile. He is such a warrior that he will never back off in a battle with the elephants. That is attribute that is given to Nandagopa. And his daughter-in-law is Neppinai. That's how she is referred. Why a daughter-in-law? Why not to say daughter of Kumbha, the actual father of Neppinai? It says Neppinai loves to be known as Nandagopa's daughter-in-law than the daughter of Kumbha. This is one of the speciality of the ladies. Once they get married and go to the husband's house, they give preference to the husband's clan and family. They feel proud to be associated with that. And the actual father, parent, they go to the backside. So, even in Ramayana, Sita Mata, when she introduces herself, she never says that I am daughter of Janaka, but she says I am daughter-in-law of Dasharatha. And finally, she says about being the daughter of Janaka. That is a beauty. You might be wondering, how does it connect to our corporate life? Quite a number of times we have to put up proposals, seek a lot of sanctions from the senior management. One of the things that is important is to speak the language that they would like to hear, which will be to their liking. It is an art, it is not very easy. So, what will please their mind and heart? Whatever communication you do, you should plan it in such a way that they are able to be receptive to your ideas. This is a very special skill which comes after a lot of practice, understanding the people's mind, their likes, moving with them, all those items. It's a very tough job, but once you master that, then whatever proposal you say, that you know how to talk to whom. I mean, you know the audience quite well, and make your proposal in such a way that it is received by them very well. So the same tactics all is using and teaching us tactics. So she says she likes to be called as a daughter-in-law of Nandagopa than the daughter of Kumbha. So she is addressing Napinnai in that particular manner. That's one of the beautiful learning that we can take. And the other one I talked of the avatar of Lord Krishna. He came to marry Napinnai. Napinnai's father put a condition that whoever tames the 7 bulls that he has with him will get the hand of Napinnai. There was no need for him, but it was created to give us a lesson, etc., etc. So, and also to establish that Napinnai is the wife of Kanna, nothing else. And the 7 bulls, he tamed the 7 bulls and got the hand of Napinnai. How do we relate these 7 bulls? The 7 bulls are like the 7 vice-like things that all of us possess in some degree or the other. What are they? Number 1, the lust, L-U-S-T, lust. Then the enmity, the avarice, that's the third one. Desire, deep desire, I want to craving kind of a thing. False pride, so wrongly placed pride, vengeance and jealousy. These are the 7. So when we tame all these 7 vices and control them or eliminate them, we are considered the supreme or the highest level of Atma. Difficult, but we also can try this, identify these items and try to reduce the impact of these 7 vice-like things. So this is another point that comes to the mind. And also the same avatar which was done in a jiffy also gives us some kind of a indication. So how do we look at it? If your purpose is very, very important and you want to achieve it by anyhow and understand the various aspects of the mission, the activity, the purpose, etc., etc., and you will work in such a pace that the job will be finished in half the time it normally requires. That means you get extra time to attend to the other priorities. That is another learning that we can take out of this particular verse, which is connecting to the avatar of Krishna. It is not directly in the verse, but I have connected to the other one. The other one is, there is another line in this particular verse, Pandar Virali, Un Maithunan Peer Pada. That's a 1, 2, which line? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sixth line. And it says, Pandar Virali Un Maithunan Peer Pada, Sandharma Kiyal Sirar Valulupe. That's how you please come and open the door for us to come in. So Pandar Virali means the Purvacharyas are explaining. There is a small competition between Lord Krishna and Napinnai in the game of a ball, throwing ball and catching kind of some ball game. And as usual, Krishna normally loses, because that's a trait of a good husband, that they would like to lose to the wife because they love her so much. It happened in Rama's case also. Before getting to Kanna, we'll just refer Rama also. Interesting one. So, Ram and Sita were having a bath in the river. So, suddenly they had a small competition. Who will be able to cross the river in the fastest manner? So, both of them jumped and they started swimming. Of course, Rama is capable of swimming in a jiffy and then go. But he did not do. He just went into the water and held his breath for some time. By the time Sita came and touched the next one, and then he came later and then felt happy, that she was feeling happy that she has defeated Rama. So that's why all these people have that kind of a quality in them. Likewise, Kannan also lost. So the last ball was kept. So she was holding the ball that she has won in one hand, and the other hand she held Lord Krishna himself. That means he is the supreme, and this is the ball is considered as be the earth kind of a thing, materialistic kind of a thing. So she was able to balance both of them. So the balancing of Lord Krishna and the Leela Vibhuti, which is the earthly place, is a art by itself. That is balancing act. So the way I look at here is, so all of us have a dual role in life, in work, etc., etc. We are here to manage someone, and we are also here to serve someone. So both roles are done sometimes simultaneously. That means I am a manager, I am also subordinate. When I do both the jobs perfectly to the required measure, our value goes up in the organization as well as the society. This is one that we can connect with this. And the other thing that comes to the mind, the way I look at it is, I talked about Sri Ramanuja saw the Lakshmi when the small girl came out to give him the alms, because he was thinking about that, and he was deeply involved in this Pasaram, and the line came, Koili Kadadirva, she came in, and suddenly he prostrated and saw Lakshmi there. So I said, whatever very deeply in our mind will become visible wherever we see. When we are having some deep involvement in some thing, bordering obsession. So wherever we see, that comes to our sight, our mind, etc., etc. It is, if you say it is haunting you around. A simple example: you decide to buy a car of a particular model. You have finalized, you have placed an order, etc., etc. From that moment onwards, till such time the car comes to your hand. In the road, there could be number of cars of different models could be plying, but what you will sight is only the car that you have decided, because you are obsessed with that. It's a human nature. So there is another one. So the deep involvement brings a lot of benefit in the final analysis. And we talk of Undumada Kalitran. Kalitran is about the elephant. The elephant brings another thought as to what we can look at elephant, and then pick up some small tips. If you actually watch the elephants, they actually pick up the chain and hand over to the mahout to be tied. Very funny, but that's how their mind works. I have seen quite a number of times they lift the chain and hand over so that he can be tied. So what can we do to link? We are doing a lot of work, we are doing a lot of activities, our conduct is there. So when you do a self appraisal of whatever you do, your activities, your conduct, etc., etc., and make a review of that, list it down and hand out to some senior people and ask them to scrutinize and add value, and it will give you wonderful result. That's why in the corporations, people have the feedback system starting from a self-appraisal, then it is vetted by the manager. So it is making the job of the manager also easy, and you can add value instead of criticizing, because you would have already criticized a lot of things in your self-appraisal. So there is no need for him to criticize, you only add value. It is going to expand your horizon and the width of your persona. So beautiful the way we look at it. Of course, this verse has got a very uh, small theme around that, but once we expand into different ways, we can learn a lot. And I have also tried to be within the structure of what the Purvacharyas have narrated, and I have just linked it to our current day life. I hope all of you would have enjoyed this episode, and I will list out the 7 important points that we have picked up out of this verse, and we will meet tomorrow with the next verse. Before we close, I would like to thank Vimala Madam, who had been a support and continues to be a support in giving me the songs, which adds some value to the episode as well. So till we see tomorrow, Namaskaram.